Hey guys, so we're back with another coaching VOD. This time we're doing Noah's Mew gameplay. Now for those of you that don't know, Noah is a member of my community that is a top 200 Mew on the leaderboard. Now as Noah has played a lot more Mew than I have, I figured the best way to give adequate coaching here would be to bring in a professional. So I brought in GZ Challenge, my own teammate who is a professional Mew player. Now Challenge offered some input on the micro of what he would have done differently throughout the game. I think this is something really important for a lot of you Mew players out there, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Alright guys, today I'm going to be VOD reviewing Noah from our community. He's a Mew one-trick these days, so we're going to go through his Mew gameplay. He's one of the top 200 Mews, according to his title in the video here. And I'm joined by a special guest. I have GZ Challenge. What's up, Challenge?
Hello, doing good.
That's good, man. Anyone doesn't know, Challenge is a professional Mew player pretty much at the moment. He's been one-tricking Mew since came out as well for Ground Zero. So he's going to give his thoughts on a lot of the micro play. I'm going to talk about the macro stuff as usual. So, Challenge, first off, battle item. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so eject and X speed are the main ones. I feel like eject is a bit better because you already have a lot of mobility with Mew in terms of just moving around quickly, that you don't need X speed too often, while eject can get you out of situations that you wouldn't otherwise be able to.
Those eject boosters are really, really mean. They're really mean. All right, so we're going to watch this. The matchup looks pretty solid, right? The enemy team has an Absol that can dive a Mew, so positioning is going to be pretty key here. And he has a Garchomp, which is bit better now. A bit better now. I'm going to assume this is after the balance patch because he has both a Crustle and a Garchomp, right? Yeah. Realistically, that should be after the patch. So we'll go into the actual start of the game here. And we'll look here. So we'll talk about starting off, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does on the first Bunnelby. Okay, so he's doing the beam, the both.
Yeah. A lot of the time with junglers that are slower, you want to help kill the Xatu with your first beam, so that they can get to their buff at 45 seconds.
Yeah, and Challenge does that a lot, and it's really helpful to our junglers. So you do it like immediately, right? Like you get on this side of the bubble and you just beam over.
You don't hit it, you just walk up and beam.
Yeah, and you just immediately beam. Yeah.
And it doesn't slow down your clear, really.
Yeah, like this doesn't really save much time.
You might do this if you're doing a fast clear and you leave these two, but otherwise, if you're going to clear these as well, having the beam that little bit earlier doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, here as well, this last screen placement, I guess he calls it back. I personally, so Challenge will know better at this than me, right? But I personally would be looking a lot more at this top Indeedee to secure the neutral farm than down at this older Goss here.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine to be here because you have the range with beam, but you need to be keeping an eye on the health of the Indeedee, which he isn't, it doesn't look like. And
he doesn't get a hit to Absol though. Kibble gets... Oh boy, Gibble gets the Absol, that's just the Mew beam damage, right? But Mew's damage is definitely, it's a lot less in the other game now than it was, but it's still too much.
Like a few hundred less, but that means it's like 1,000 instead of 1,200.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go back like a little second here. So here, I guess now after they've scored, pressuring the Eldegoss. The Eldegoss has no mobility, so pressuring them here makes sense.
Yeah, fine.
Pressuring them makes perfect sense. And Gibble responds too. I like the flick back of the beam to change direction there, like the flick changing direction to follow the path and predict them. That's pretty solid. Goes up to score. It's pretty solid. Gibble should be scoring. Gibble. No? Okay, Gibble doesn't want to score. Okay, you're pressuring the Indeedee here. I respect it.
Yeah. Once you see that Absol has walked up, yeah, I mean, you're going... Like, you can just beam and boosted the Indeedee if it's not contested and kill it instantly.
Okay, so like immediately, right? So does that just 100 zeros this? Like it beams and boosts the Indeedee? Okay.
It's like does 2/3 of its health, roughly.
You traded off for the Absol kill. Now, I think Absol probably falls there to the Gren anyway, because he's red buffed, right? Like, I feel like... Yeah, he dashed in. Like, if you look at the minimap, right, you can tell when Absol dashes because of the jagged movement on the minimap. So if you watch Absol on the minimap, Absol dashes in there. That's Absol's dash. He's not a level where he has, like, multiple dashes yet. He's just got his one dash, and Gren is here in position with red buff. I think your teammates have that covered. I think you can do as Challenge said. I think you can just beam and boosted this to get the farm, because I don't think Absol gets out of that. I just don't think so. Like, I think that guy's already done. Do you agree?
It's hard to tell without seeing their health, but
yeah, it's hard to tell. But
like, it's fine to be looking up to get that.
Yeah, okay.
But
maybe I'm being too nitpicky. I'm being too nitpicky.
It's hard to know.
Yeah, it's hard to know. Maybe it's too much trust as well on the ground. Like, you don't know what they play like yet. This is the first gank, right? Yeah. So I guess this is like a fine play. I would immediately return back to the Indeedee though, instead of going for this. But beam is on cooldown. So what would you do here, Challenge? We try to line up both?
Yeah, you can try and line up both entities. Like, at least pull this one into the bush so you can have a look at the other one. And
So
see
the
if you
opposite
can
of
help.
this, the opposite of this, right? So here, no, you've pushed the entity backwards. You've pushed it back towards your own side. Are you going to line up the beam with your own entity though? No. So you're just beaming the entity. So the beautiful thing of beam, and Challenge will agree with this, right, is that you can hit multiple entities with the beam. You don't have to just hit the one. So he could have definitely hit his back one, right? Challenge like easily.
Yeah, like try and position it so that you can hit either theirs or both of yours.
Yeah. So
Unless it's like highly contested and you need to do a lot of burst for every single one.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely want to be just like getting the most value of every button press in this game. So you'll get this though, which is fine. And then you push up on the Autogos. This is fine. So like poke. Absol's probably on their way back, right? But this is fine. This is like a free score. Here we go. Would you have, you know what? I was going to say, would you have beamed there? But these were spawning in 3 seconds, so no.
Yeah.
I actually didn't look at time for this. You definitely hold it.
Once it hits 9, you don't beam again.
Yeah, you definitely hold. Yeah, you hold
Or
beam
above
there.
like
So
858-ish.
you get most of those with beam. That boosted was interesting. Do you have anything to say about that boosted?
In general, you want to target boosted enemies and then just move where you're positioned so that it goes through the wilds.
Okay,
it's like you could be getting a lot of damage on Absol here.
Yeah, by boosting.
Because they're already low, and if you get one boosted on that Absol, Gren can finish them off.
And that's the thing about boosted, right? Muse boosted travels through wild Pokemon, right? It doesn't stop on them if it's targeted on a player. Yeah, so you could definitely like secure this likely with Mew boosted as well, getting a lot of damage on Absol. And that's a nitpicky thing, but that's just like, that's just a big macro thing that challenge would definitely do, because you don't want to lean against this guy's Mew. It is very aggravating. It is very aggravating. So you go into Electro Ball, which I think is fine, but
the Electro Ball switch is nice.
Yeah, Electro Ball's fine. I was gonna say like chasing that down is a possibility, but probably not, because Greninja left.
Greninja wants to get back to farm.
Yeah, Greninja wants to go back to farm, which is fine. But I'd be looking to contest this in DD at least, which he does. He looks around to contest it. I don't know my Electro Ball timings. I don't know if you boosted Electro like that challenge. Is that the way you'd go for the secure? Because you can't switch into Beam, right? So
yeah, just go for boost Electro Ball. It seems fine. Did well.
Okay, yeah, did well. You can't get it every time. Gibble's back. What's up, Gibble? You are also laning with a Gibble, which is hard. But Gibble's doing all right. Okay, you go into Beam. Do some Beam damage. This is, again, nitpicky. I'm very nitpicky on these, but I break things down to a very, very, like, just fundamental level. So here, to me, right, after you Beam, I don't see a reason to step forward. And again, challenge might be like, Louche, you're being nitpicky, right? But I think that after you Beam here, stepping forward here is reckless.
You see Absol running up.
Yeah, Absol's like there. I feel like this is reckless to step forward. I know you're Mew and you have like a million mobility options, but he's 5, right? If he's not Pursuit and he's actually playing a good moveset, he can Night Slash onto you and then he can hit you again. He can follow up and chase, and that's very scary to deal with.
Absol has a lot of ability to one-shot Mews.
You 100% do not live that if Absol played that perfectly. He missed both backstabs, which is why I don't love Pursuit. Pursuit is a good move on paper, but it's countered by the A button. But yeah, I think if this Absol plays that a little better, even hits you with I think there's no way you get out there, right? Challenge if that's a top tier Absol player. Like if you're bursting Scolded or something, do you feel like you get out there?
Maybe, but it's a lot. Like it shouldn't have been. I mean, Mew is stupid. So
and it all comes down to that step forward.
You get out there most of the time, but you don't need. Yeah, there's no reason to walk into Absol like that. Like, Absol is one of the scarier characters from you.
I agree.
They can actually keep up with you to some extent.
I agree, sure. I think it all comes down to this moment here where you step forward. And like you don't think of these little things when you're playing sometimes, but stepping forward here gets you in range of Absol to just dive at you. He's right there. If you're back into your own bush, he can't even pursue you in your own bush. So just back out and be safe in his line of sight for a move like that. So yeah, definitely just like be a little careful with how you're just moving your character after your moves. I like that. I like the aggression. I like the aggression on the Absol. And yeah, it's a good boosted. 8 minutes of spawning in 2. The Absols have been pressured out. They can't contest. I don't agree with chasing a Greedent. I don't agree with peeling back here onto a Greedent. I think, so let's go back a little. So, yeah, you push the Absol out right here, and it's 8:07.
Yeah, just push up onto 8 minutes.
Yeah, you push up onto these 8 minutes, and you just, like, beam them down and take them, right? Because there's 2 teammates here. Greninja's got this covered with Crustle. You probably don't even kill this Greedent. This is Greedent. Greedent gets out of everything. This is what Greedent does. Yeah, this Greedent's gone. This Greedent's gone, and no one's touched these 8 minutes, and it's been 7 seconds. You could already have them and be on your way to the top, right? Because Mew's beam clear is decent on those mids. It's pretty decent. So you would likely have them cleared and be heading up instead of chasing a Greedent. That's what I think for sure. Do you agree with that challenge?
Yeah, no. Greninja doesn't need help chasing.
No.
He can do that on his own.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Oh, the tunnel vision. Oh, the tunnel vision. Okay, so when you come up here, you see that there's a Trevenant. You see the Trevenant's kind of out of position pretty far forward. But you really want this Greedent. You really want this Greedent that you even dash forward. And Greedent is Greedent. It's gone, man. It's gone. You should beam this Trevenant because any poke on this Trevenant deters it from wanting to push up your lane. But now Trevenant is probably full health. It's going to walk up and get a little stack. You can't stop 5. Yeah, if this had an extra beam of health, I think it's actually in a really bad spot here. I think it's a really bad spot here. So you beam it here and you boost it. Yeah, like, I don't know, challenge. Another beam. Is that Trevenant dead? Is that Trevenant?
It's close.
It's close, right?
It could be, yeah.
It's close. It gets procced into passive by that beam instead of that boosted, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it does heal up from the passive after it gets hit.
Yeah.
Once it gets, but like it is possible that you get a kill there with an extra beam.
Yeah. It's just tunnel visioning that Greedent. I feel like you were never getting that Greedent. I feel like there's no way you ever catch Greedent because it's Greedent. And that's its whole purpose, is to annoy you and get away. So honestly, I think if you had farmed the middle and not chased Greedent and gotten those 8 minutes in the middle, you'd be level 6 right now. And you would have definitely taken out this Trevenant if you'd beamed them earlier when you came up and then later here. Like, I don't know if you agree with that challenge, but I think that little extra power would probably do that. I think that we don't think of these things as we play, but I think if back here you've come up, and would you be 6 from getting all the middles here?
Yeah. If you get all the smalls or just the big, you'll be pretty close.
Yeah, and you'd be essentially 6.
I mean, you don't even, like, after the 8 minutes, you can probably, like, you don't...
and you'd be here catching Delphox, actually. You'd probably be here catching Delphox, which is even better.
Like, you can either go down after, like, you fight at mid, and then you can go back down or choose to push the top goal with your Greninja.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's really true. That's really true. To give you options, give you choices.
Hitting tanks over contesting, like, no farm. Why?
Yeah. So here we see 10 seconds till the 720 spawn. You're at least in a good position for these. You're still poking Greedent. Just let Greedent go, man. Let Greedent go. Let Greedent go. Let Greedent go. Now you're poking Trevenants. I don't know if I'd use my cooldowns 1 second before the farm spawns. Because remember, when you're fighting, you're always fighting over something, right? Fighting for no reason is pointless. If I saw Challenge do this, I would yell at him. If I saw Challenge use his cooldowns at like 721, I would not be a happy tank player. Do you agree with that, right? I would probably like Challenge. You okay?
Yeah.
So
you want to have beam or surf up for when birds spawn.
Yeah, for sure. So you have nothing up here.
Just isn't as good.
Very true. Very true. Beam here secures all of these, pretty much all of these smalls at least.
Yeah.
So Delphox is doing them, and you don't even Electro Ball them. You peel back onto the... You love this Greedent, Noah. Noah, let Greedent go. I know he's annoying, but I promise you, you're not killing this Greedent. You are not killing this Greedent. If Greedent knows what he's doing, I don't know, Challenge, would you ever tunnel vision a Greedent like this?
No, especially as Mew. Like, you have to sit in Electro Ball to fight Greedent, and it's... Like, you could be getting so much more value just hitting their squishies with beams.
Yeah, like if you're up here actually contesting the farm and getting the Altarias. And yeah, man. I don't know. I feel like that's a bit of a waste. So Gren's farming. Gren's trying to probably get ult before the top. They've kind of like their bottom. Gren might respond to that, or he'll come top if he wants to just push pressure and trade out, right? Like, I feel like he should come top. This is good. Pushing the goal here is good. Pushing the goal here is really good. You don't have vision of their team, so you want to be careful, but pushing the goal here is fine. You have Delphox in between you and them, I guess, as a meat shield and Crustle as well. This stuff bugs me. I always point this out when players do it too. It's a very small thing, but it means a lot as well. So you don't have vision of 2 of the enemy team. You don't have vision of them. So right now, when you score, you should be scoring up the top part of the goal here. If you score down like this middle part, especially stacked on top of your Delphox, an enemy can come up through the jungle here and stop both of your scores immediately, and also poke you out. You're not very healthy right now, so you want to be up at this top end. It's just safer. You know, would you agree with that challenge or something? I would definitely say it's just safer to be up here and split from your team.
Yeah, you want to split your scores. Like for 7, it's not as big a deal, but it's a good habit to be in.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. So Everyone scores, which is good. You pick up the more points score, you might be stacking, that's fine. Cross probably had that handled. Delphox comes up with the ult out of nowhere. Absol? What's Absol doing? Hold on. So Absol goes for Delphox. This is the pursuit, doesn't he? I'm telling you, this move is not good. I'm telling you. Wait, does he not get the backstab? Oh, I just pressed the wrong button. Sorry, guys. Let's pull this back up. So, hang on. He sucker punches without pursuit activated, so he doesn't get a backstab, and he's forced to run away, and he probably just gets picked. No, he lives. He gets Delphox. I feel like... Is it too nitpicky to say he should be helping the Delphox a little more? He's on cooldowns, I guess. He can switch.
You can switch moves.
You can switch, yeah. Like, so what would you do here?
That Absol is so low.
As a new player.
You can just surf to agility surf, and Absol is probably dead.
You switch to agility surf? Yeah. So you're veering away.
And it also lets you, if the Absol does get on top of your Delphox, it lets you push them away from them so they don't die necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so yeah, I think switching to like agility surf is a very good idea, especially when you're outnumbered. When you're outnumbered, having agility surf is just so good. You can stall so much time. Okay, so you're on pad here, you're alone. You're getting pushed. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, but you're still
alive.
Still alive. When did he switch? So he switched?
He switched when just before they dove, I think.
See, I would go agility surf here, but I'm not like a Mew Pro, right? Challenge, what would you do here when there's 3 of them pushing you on goal?
Either is fine.
Okay.
Because you have your Crustle coming back, so you might want to just be on beams to hit them, and Crustle can harass them more with CC.
Okay.
Like I don't think it's mostly just preference. I think they're both fine.
Okay. All right. So my reasoning why I would go surf, as I said, I'm not the person who will be playing the course, so listen to challenge, not me. But my reason for going surf is that if they do dive you, then you can just surf away. This Absol actually dies, right? To surf. So you get away here, and you hit 8 and go into ult. But that's, again, pretty nitpicky. Touch the pad, my guy. If you're going to run that far back. All right, this is a big thing as well. If you're going to run this far down your flux, touch this goal, because the second goal gives you a lot of shield. You have a lot of shield right now. You still don't you're so close to it. This hurts me. I don't mean to be mean. I'm just saying, Noah, definitely like touch the pad. Touch the pad here.
Yeah, it would double your health.
Yeah. Oh, man. If you just taken that one more step, you'd have double health, and you'd probably survive here and be able to like pull back and get away. So that's a little unfortunate. That's just like, maybe you meant to and you misjudged the distance, but yeah, definitely try to touch the pad in a situation like that. So, all right, coming back here, you get back up there in time. Like, the fight's still going on. Gren's farming his jungle, so yeah, you go straight up. I guess there's no reason to switch. Like, you wouldn't switch to agility to get there quicker, right? You just stay and walk.
You want to stay on your beam?
Yeah, so all right, so you stop the score. That's really good. I don't face check the bush. Please don't face check the bush. Please don't. All right, so challenge. Talk through. What's your thought process here as a Mew? You see Trevenant
you watch Trevenant walk into the bush and he hasn't walked out. Just beam it.
Yeah,
he'll walk out eventually.
You beam the bush. You definitely
He's not going to sit there.
Mm-hmm. You don't face check it as the attacker, especially when you're not even in your dash move. Even then, I wouldn't do it. Right? You don't face check.
You can
the bush.
even beam and then surf into it.
Yeah,
like, that might kill him.
Yeah, you haven't really utilized Surf at all in this game so far, and Surf is a really, really powerful tool. It's very good, not just for damage, but for positioning, for peeling, just for disrupting. Surf is really
all the
useful.
close range fights, anything is close range, you want to be Surf. It's so much better.
Surf is so good. Like, so close range is Surf, the mid range is Electro Ball, and the big range is like, Beam. But chase downs, Electro Ball is really good too. Agility Electro Ball, really good for chase downs.
I would mostly, like, Electro Ball is good against characters that have a lot of mobility, so that they can get out of your solar beams.
Yeah, like Absol, for example.
Yeah.
But Surf is so good.
In pretty much every other case, like, you're looking at Beam or Surf.
No, I agree. So yeah, so face checking here is just not it. He's pretty low too. One more beam you proc is passive, right? So if you just beam into bush, he's gonna get scared out and have to walk away. And see, now your ulti's forced, and this is like a nothing unite, right? So you've united here for like no value. It's just to save yourself from face checking, which again I would yell at challenge for. I would be like, challenge, why did you just unite? And he'd be like, I face checked the Trevenant, and I'd be like, challenge? Why?
You're not even dying to Trevenant there.
Yeah, dude, honestly, you're probably fine. But yeah, so your team gets that super safe. But see, now you don't have Unite to make a push play if your team wanted to. You have 30 seconds till pad. So it's probably not the best push unless you guys wipe them real quick. And
Looking
without
for-
the other
No,
unites.
not looking for jungle. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing too. So your Crustles walked up here. You should definitely, like, you just go straight to their blue buff. You just path straight. This Baltoy means nothing. Baltoy is pointless, all right? Unless it's a Zoroark, you don't hit it. You want to walk down here, and you want to go and look straight at their blue, straight through this way here. Delphox kind of had the idea, I think, but maybe they got scared off. I think. Yeah, which is a bit interesting. But yeah, you should definitely path towards that blue because you want to get something out of Regieleki, and getting a Baltoy isn't really enough. So Crustle walked up to try to solo push it, which is again crazy. You should never try to solo push Regieleki. I understand wanting to stall, but you don't solo push the objective. Your team's gone and farmed a little. You've gotten a Baltoy. You know what I mean? Taking their blue really hinders them and cripples them. A really good thing for you to do. So I think in the future, think about, I have an advantage on the map. How do I want to push this? And the answer is usually score in the other lane if they're all in the top, or push into their jungle a little bit, try to steal it. That's what you tend to do when you have map pressure.
It's also a bit of a weird rotation for all of you to go bot when there's no bottom Reggie to take.
Yes, there's no bottom Reggie to take, and also no one's now guarding top. So they've defended the Regieleki. They were all just up there. They're just going to walk up and score. They're just going to walk up, and they're going to turn your Regieleki into their advantage because like they just walk up into your goal because you guys just
You
left
force
them.
their team to group up.
Yeah, exactly. You force them to group, and they're just going to walk up and score here. So you're farming down here, which is fine, but someone's got to respond to this. Delphox is calling for a gather. Garchomp does not have a lot of points, and he's just walking up to score. So this trade-off isn't worth it.
Just need to hope Delphox, Gren, and Crustle can do.
Yeah.
That's
so hopefully
enough,
these three.
hopefully.
These three can hold them off. You're here doing the farm, which is fine. Like if they can hold it off, that's good. Okay. Now so this is something I want to point out, and it's very, very nitpicky. It's very nitpicky. So you start to walk up. I'm going to point out when you do. You start to walk up. Look at the Gren's health up here. So Gren was full health, and then as you decide to walk up, the Gren's health is plummeting, right? And the Gren's in the middle of all of them. Crustle is also not full health. Neither of them have Unite moves. They're not winning this fight. They're losing this fight 9 times out of 10, unless the enemy is just the Muppet Army, right? They're losing this fight every time. So rotating up here is kind of pointless. You're going to get caught out here most likely. You should be like probably, challenge? Farming the bottom, getting in position for the bottom Reggie.
Yeah, there's not too much on the map, which is a little annoying, but you can take bottom farm and just wait for bottom Reggie to spawn. Ideally, you never rotate to the bottom path when you know they're all up there in the first place, and there's...
Yeah, ideally, you never make that first mistake, but when you're in this position, like, farming these gets you level 10, right? Farming these gets you level 10.
Yeah, 10 is super important.
Yeah, and 10 is a really good thing on you. This gets you level 10, and then you're in position for Reggie, because you're not stopping these scores. And it's very unlikely, because they've been on the back foot, it's very unlikely they have enough points to really like break this and go score a lot in the T2 right now. It's very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. So yeah, they score their points.
3 people.
Yeah, there's only 3 people. They scored their points. You go into ulti. Okay.
Why are you Electro Ball?
Okay. You don't like Surf. You really don't like Surf.
Please try Surf more.
So
it's really good in close range.
I am not the pro Mew player of my team. I'm not going to lie to you. I hit ulti here. I'm backing to base. I'm outnumbered. I'm out of here. Get me out of here. Challenge on the other hand. So challenge. Talk us through how you would play this. If you even... So you should never be walking up here. This is just getting yourself caught out. Like you should know you're going to get caught out as you walk up here by the signs. By the fact that your team was never winning that fight. There's no unites. They're low health. You're not getting there in time. But challenge. How do you... Walk us through what you do once you're in this.
Yeah. I mean, you got the beam on Delphox, which is great. And a boost off. So yeah, you're forced to ulti here, but in ulti, just switch to Surf. You're on top of Delphox, you basically one-shot them when your ult expires and you Surf on top.
Yeah.
Even if you don't kill them, you'll have a boosted coming at them.
That's really true, yeah.
Like you can CC all 3 of them, Surf in the other direction and start agility in a way.
The thing about Mew,
so much movement speed.
The thing about Mew is in Surf agility, and don't forget you get movement speed every time you use an ability. This Pokemon is hard to catch when they're in Surf agility. You almost got away with agility Electro Ball, right? You would have taken out this Delphox 100% because you were on top of them right here. You're literally on them.
If you have Surf here, you hit all 3 of them with Surf. And you
all 3 with Surf.
Away.
You can agility through a wall. You know what I mean? You can kite around. You can Surf again. Like you can just juke and get out of there and probably get the pick. Now, you never should have been in that situation. You shouldn't have rotated up there. You shouldn't have rotated down in the first place to then have to rotate up there. But But in that situation where you ended up, the play there is to definitely go to Surf. I haven't seen you Surf once this game, and it's so strong. It's the most aggravating part of dealing with a Mew other than level 1 Solar Beam. I swear challenging Surf like a lot. A lot. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Garchomp's doing the bottom objective. You probably don't get there in time. Like, there's no reason to go to the bottom. So you go top. Okay, that's good, yeah. Farm the top. That makes sense to me, because you don't get to the bottom in time. You definitely don't get to the bottom in time. Get the Intides. Electro Ball is the quickest farming, I guess.
If you can hit 2 Wild Mons with Beam will be faster.
Okay.
But
okay.
You need to do that every beam.
Okay, so like here. Oh, that was a misjudged push. I'm guessing you didn't need to push.
He was trying to hit them both at the same time.
He was trying to hit both,
it the wrong way.
You pushed it the wrong way. That's just a little mistake. I'm sure you didn't intend to do that. We don't have to pick on that one. We don't have to pick on that one. Okay, so you're farming this, man. Muse autos, like the regular ones, do nothing. They do nothing. They do.
You're not running
nothing.
Muscle Band.
I mean, you shouldn't. You don't.
Yeah. No.
Okay, this one would make me rage. Okay, so. I know I'm being mean, Noah. I'm sorry, but I want to nitpick. I want to give you good coaching here. I want you to definitely have your play broken down here. So, okay, let's look at what's happened here. So while you're farming, you have to kind of be aware of what's going on around the map. The enemy team is here. There's 3 of them in the bottom here. They just want to fight taking out your team. There's an objective spawning in the top lane in 13 seconds. They are going to be walking up through the middle. They're going to be walking up through the middle to go to the top, to the objective. That's what they want to do. So the worst thing you can do is act like that's not happening. So you get this, you walk up here, you're not in a mobility kit, so you're not getting out of here, you don't pick up the berry, and then you just walk to these, and you don't, it looks like you just have no care where they are. You don't try to scout, and Absol just jumps on you, right? Like, I don't challenge, how would you play this situation?
I mean, you can just sit in that bush that is just above him right there, and wait for them to come through and beam it. Beam all of them along with the birds when they start hitting them.
Yeah, walking up
probably
here
the
is
best
just
option.
Reckless.
Yeah,
just
walking
reckless.
up all the way, there's no, you know they're coming.
Yeah, you know they're going to be coming. This is super reckless, and they have access to the berry because you didn't care about it all either. So Absol's going to jump on you here. The beam's just probably a misclick.
It's just a bit of a panic. It's never fun to be dove by
I will be very surprised if this Absol doesn't take you out right now. Okay, well, they use Sucker Punch when they were on top of you, so you get out. So
nice.
if this, I can say this because they don't have names on, so I'm not shaming anyone. You're playing without names, so you give me an excuse. If this wasn't the worst Absol of all time, you would have gotten out of here. You wouldn't have gotten out of here. So this is, the Absol comes up to you, right? And they Sucker Punch you when they're right on top of you, which is weird because there's no reason to use your gap closer when you have no gap to close. So because they do that, you screen them here, and they have no way of getting to you afterwards. They dash up here, they just can't catch you because they've decided to use a Sucker Punch on top of you. But you've decided, okay. I'm going to go back here, Noah, okay? I'm going to go back here. I'm going to tell you why this was a big mistake, and I'm sure Challenge sees that already as well. So look at your minimap. You're walking up here, Absol's chasing you down the bottom. You see their Greedent, right? You get scared of their Greedent and you forget that the Absol exists. You can see them in the minimap and you walk down into the jungle here. You can walk up towards your Garchomp here, up behind this way, and none of them can get to you. If Absol chases you this far up,
Surf agility, please.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Again, true. Again, true.
Shield, you can just surf past them, agility past them. You don't get spooked by the Greedent there.
Yeah, you have mobility in your kit. And you're using your mobility to be aggressive with Electro Ball, but you haven't once switched to Surf appealing or switch to agility just to run away. Like here, you just want to run away with agility. So you end up peering down here, and Greedent ulti's over here, which is like such a wasted ulti. But the Absol comes and gets you because they're on the minimap walking up this way. If you walk up through your Garchomp there, it's very likely this Absol gets punished by your Delphox, who has Unite, and by your Garchomp as well. Probably gets combo and taken down, but you've taken this risky approach because it looks like you saw the Greedent and then forgot about the Absol. So try to have just a little more map awareness there to be aware of what's going on around you. Trevenant's probably scoring a 340. No one's in position to stop that, but that's fine. This should mean you win the Reggie fight, but maybe not because you kind of entered here. So we'll see. Greedent ulti's in. Oh, Delphox. Oh, Delphox, no. Okay, so unfortunately your Delphox has, I guess they were really trying to save you, and they've just auto-aimed their Unite, right? Instead of uniting on themselves here, which is huge, they've just united here by auto-aiming it, which, yeah, we've all been guilty of that at times. So one thing as well, when you're when you're like dead, when you're at base, you want to be panning your camera over what's happening. I don't know if that's harder on mobile, I don't know, but you want to be like watching the fight. You want to see what cooldowns are being used, what ultis are being pressed, what's going on. You don't want to just kind of be looking over where you died. Yeah, especially this. Well, yeah, that is like, there's no reason to just, I guess you're looking at the score of the goals, but what's more important than that is the fight that's happening. But your team's kind of wiped them out. They've taken out 3 of them, which is solid, but you don't really have much knowledge of what unites have been used because you weren't watching the fight. You know, Greedence was, but
You might
Gren's
want
kind
to
of
walk up to help.
yeah.
Gren.
Yeah, I was about to say that. So Gren's kind of soloing Regieleki. And there's a Delphox there. Your Garchomp's dealing with him, but you should definitely be walking up to secure here. Your secure out-secures Delphox if you time it correctly. So you definitely want to be walking up and not just farming. And Delphox took out Garchomp. So this is really risky. Greninja can definitely have this stolen. They don't have Unite up, right? Delphox can definitely steal this. It definitely can be stolen by Delphox. So you should be positioning to be there. You are your team secure. I know Surf is good, but you have Beam. You're greedily farming instead. Greninja gets it, which is just kind of lucky, I think. Again, I would yell at Challenge if... can we just... Imagine Joey's ripping Regieleki and Challenge like, I'm going to go do his jungle. You know, I feel like he'd be losing his mind at you. And so, yeah, I feel like definitely Challenge would be walking up to beam this Regieleki for sure. Like, I'm right, yeah, Challenge? Like, you would be walking up to beam the Regieleki? Okay. Yeah.
Greninja secure is okay, but it's not impossible to get out secured as Greninja.
Yeah, I think Surf and Solar Beam together beats Delphox. You know,
Yeah,
that's what I
every
think.
time.
And so that was just a risk. So now again, Regice Crossel is Rip Crossel. Crossel's kind of up again. Okay, decently beaming for poke. I don't understand.
Why ult?
I don't. Okay. So, Noah, you're going to probably watch this, right? So please, I want you to leave comments as well. I'm not trying to like pick on you. I want you to let me know why you pressed this Unite. It looks like you wanted to just aggressively get cooldowns and take out Absol, but using your Unite at 240 to just pressure an Absol doesn't make much sense. Especially when you've seen how this Absol's been playing, and I'm not meaning to be rude, but they have not been playing very well. So this feels...
They're basically dead already. You don't even need
Yeah,
ult.
exactly. Like, don't you just boosted them? Like,
Yeah,
don't you just like hit them with a
probably
boosted?
just kills
Yeah,
them.
you just boosted and walk away. You probably take out this Absol. So you Unite into here. You're not going to get this back for 2 minutes, right? Challenge? There's no way.
Yeah, it's not going to be there for 2 minutes. It's not that fast.
There's no way. And then, okay, Absol ult as well. Again, they're not playing very well. They shouldn't have done that. Just because this kind of works out. Again, not a very good play. And they died to the Unite, but they would have gone down to a boosted. And then, if I'm this Trevenant, you're dead. Okay, I'm going to go through here. So, if I'm this Trevenant up here, I don't path this weird way. You've dashed in, which is psychotic. I don't know why. There's like 3 of them there. Like, you take out Absol, and then you like, just this ego kicks in. There's 4 of them. And you dash in. And this Trevenant, if you path down to this middle of the lane here, just horn leeches you up here, and Delphox takes you out instantly. You're gone. That's a level 14 Delphox. You never get out of here. You get out of there because Trevenant doesn't know what he's doing, right? But you definitely like shouldn't make a play like this. Again, this is like confirmation bias, right? Just because it works, it doesn't mean it's good.
But also, this play could be okay with Surf as well. If you hit, like, you can Surf into all 3 of those people, and it's actually kind of good.
That's very true because Surf makes you unstoppable, and then you couldn't get pushed by the Trevenant.
Yeah.
So it's if you'd
But
agility,
not Electro Ball. Why
Yeah.
are you closing the distance for Electro Ball?
yeah, if you agility here and then Surf backwards, that's actually a decent play. That's actually a pretty decent play. I would say that for sure. But yeah, I just think that's very aggressive. I still haven't seen one Surf from you, Noah. I want you to tell us in the comment section why you don't like Surf, what the reason is, because I would love to hear it. You've played a lot of Mew. Challenge has probably played more. So I know you know better than me, but explain to Challenge in the comments why you don't use Surf ever. Okay, so Delphox has to back. You should back as well. You're backing. Okay, cool. Could have backed a bit earlier, but again, that's pretty nitpicky. Like, it's whatever. You're backing, you're resetting, and now you should start looking. You don't use jump pad. You want to farm the Baltoys. You still get it quicker if you jump. Okay, you want to farm Baltoys.
Looking for 14. That's fine.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Looking for 14 is fine. I like the announcer. Okay, so you're 14. Leave. You're 14. This doesn't matter. I guess he wants Unite as well.
Yeah, that's farming United.
This is the problem from you uniting at 240. This is like you're trying to now. What you're doing now is compensating for a mistake that you never should have made. You shouldn't have united, especially when you didn't need to. Normally, I'd say like don't unite there, just die. But you weren't even in danger. You just like wanted to do it, you know. So definitely try to avoid doing that in the future, because if you had Unite, you're not here wasting time doing this, right? You're in a better position, and you're probably in this fight with this cross. Your crossel has been deep all game, man. It's been the deepest crossel I've ever seen. They're looking to score. You're here poking. This might be nitpicky. I don't know if it's harder on mobile. Please don't attack me in the comment section, guys. Please don't. But I do want to say that I would have definitely camera panned here right before beaming, because you get vision here, right? But now you walk up for a while, another few seconds, and you don't know what you're beaming now. You're just kind of wildly beaming into this area. Minimap vision tells you they're not even in the choke anymore, so I would have panned. Is that too nitpicky challenge, or would you be doing this as well?
You want to at least know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if it's just looking at the minimap, you want to have some idea about where you should be aiming your beam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because just straight ahead, you know that's like maybe just tilting the LD. That's all you can see in that direction.
And you want to be hitting like the Del Fox, right? That's what you want to be doing. Your team falls. This, again, is nitpicky. I'm so nitpicky. I know this. But if you... So after... I don't understand the random walks forward. Like, I don't understand why you're walking forward into this wall here.
It's kind of okay here, because if you drag them down through that bush, you can light screen solar beam all of them if they follow you.
True. That's very true. You in a choke is very dangerous. So I guess, I guess this is fine here. You look up. You beam. You don't have light screen up yet. Do you... Challenge. Do you think... Okay, so you tell me, this is a micro thing, right? Look at the light screen cooldown. Yeah. It's at like 0.6. Do you discipline yourself to wait for light screen to come up before you beam?
0.6 is long enough to place it quickly in front.
Oh, after beaming?
Yeah, because beam takes about a second.
That's true. You can beam after.
So you can, so you can place your light screen after.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Maybe not.
It's pretty close.
I would have waited for it though.
It might be harder to get it out instantly on mobile as well.
Yeah, I think he tries.
Like, I think if you're spamming that on Switch, you can do it at around 0.6. I'm not certain though. I don't pay that much attention to the.
Yeah, I think I would have. I think I would have just held the discipline to like hold that beam for like an extra like half a second, right? Because I don't think like it wasn't even like a fat beam that hit everyone, right? Like that definitely could have waited.
It whiffed, yeah.
Yeah, it whiffed. Like you definitely could have waited like half a second there to beam through the screen just for more damage, you know, and then have the screen to hide behind. Oh, that's a Del Fox Unite on you. Gren is about to hit a fat Unite. All right, Gren takes out Hardy, and comes through and does some big damage. You're in the back here. You hit a beam. I don't know if that hits him. I think Gren kills Trevenant before it hits. That's what happens here, I think, right?
It has the little hat there.
Yeah, so Greatly's down here now. Haven't seen their Del Fox and Absol in a while. Let me go back and see. So Absol's stopping Crossel at the top. That's the last one we see of Absol. Absol's up here stopping Crossel. Yeah. Del Fox is towards the bottom lane. Probably we're trying to hit Del Fox there as well, I'd say. Again, that Unite seems a bit, I don't know, challenge. You're the micro. You're the new micro boy. The Unite, what do you think?
Policy region is scary, but you're at a choke. You can just push him away.
Yeah, you have light screen. Yeah, you can definitely you can just light screen this choke instead of panic uniting.
And if you really need to, you can switch to surf agility to get away.
Challenge is like, I'm trying to drop the biggest hint that you should play some surf agility. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, but you can definitely light screen here, and then you can switch to agility. You have your move swap up. You can and just get away. You don't need to unite here. I feel like you use your unite as like a first instinct when it should be like an emergency button, because it's such a good unite at getting out of bad situations. It's essentially get out of jail free card, and you don't want to just blow that on anything. Okay, so you walk through here. Is he hugging the Greedent in Unite?
Yeah, he wants to deal damage to it with the Unite.
With the Unite? But the Unite's huge.
It's like 2k, but on a Greedent, it's not too big a deal.
Now, I'm sure Challenge would say, so in your Unite here, when you're hugging Greedent, switch to Surf and Agility and Surf the Greedent up. I'm sure that's something Challenge would say. Oh, this is good. This is good, though.
Got the boosted on the Del Fox.
Yeah, that was really good, though. So let's go back here. Okay, so you come through here. Hit the Del Fox with a boosted.
Not gonna kill. Oh, yeah, but it
the Del Fox
as well.
Del Fox gets them. Okay, so now you're like pressuring Green Electro Bolt. Is solid. This is solid, good boosted. All right, you would take him out. That was solid. You're walking up. You still haven't seen Absol. Noah, you still don't know where Absol is. Where's the last time we saw Absol? He was stopping Crossel, right? You were in that fight, and you haven't seen Absol.
Yeah.
This is something.
At this point, you want to be aware of who's alive.
Yeah, this is something
you should be
as well.
checking.
This whole game, I've noticed you have not respected the Absol. You have not. It looks like you're not positioning like you're versing an Absol, and I think that's something a lot of players make the mistake of. Is you have to play against who you're playing against, right? If you're versing an Absol, you have to position accordingly. You have to use bushes more. You have to stay on your side more. You have to make sure you're not getting out of position, because Absol's a character that can just catch you out and take you out. So you have to make sure you're playing as though you're playing against an Absol. You know, you have to kind of be accountable for your positioning. As Challenge will know, if we verse Gengar and it kills him, I tell Challenge it's his fault. But it might not be, but I will tell him that. So, and surprise, surprise, there is Absol. I don't think hitting the Ray is the choice. You probably want to force, right? You want to hit it so they start to come into fight. There's 2 down, but Mew hasn't got the best rip. And Absol, again, comes out here. So you don't have Unite. Absol should probably take you out here. This Absol doesn't use basic attacks, man. Absol uses Pursuit. Hang on. Absol uses Pursuit, Sucker Punch, and then just walks into an ulting position. If they basic attack you at all, you're gone. You live there because... Okay, Challenge. Do you ever live this? Does an Absol ever let you live here?
They shouldn't. Yeah, like even at 14, you shouldn't be able to survive that.
Right.
Absol should kill you pretty quickly.
I'm just going to say this. If I'm you, right? Is it confident that I'll say that you right now would switch to Surf?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Surf agility is pretty good when Absol dives you.
Okay, so yeah, this is another moment, right, where it's like you should definitely probably switch to Surf. I know Electro Ball is really good for damage. It's really good for fighting, but you don't always want to be fighting. Sometimes you want to be utility, right? Like Surf is like, even if he tries to basically, you get out by Surf. He just played that very badly. He used no basic attacks. That's why you got out. This is so risky. All right, that was a very risky back, but you got away with it. So it worked out. But it's good that you wanted to reset. Absol's looking to score top. I don't understand how Absol went from 1 health in the middle of your entire team to getting to go score at the top. But Gren looks like they're responding. Gren should get there. Okay, Gren stops them. That was crazy. This Absol's getting away with things that they should not be. All right. So now your team's here. So this is weird. This is weird to me. Rip. Yeah. So how come you wanted to rip when you had no vision of the Absol and 2 of them were down? But now that you had vision of the Absol and 2 of them are down, you don't want to rip. So that's something I don't understand too. It seems like inconsistent, like decision making. You know, maybe you want to come here and take care of the Absol. If that's the play, then good, and you did. That's good. So if that's what you wanted to do, then you made the right play. Because I agree, taking out the Absol there is very vital. And now you probably want to. Now it looks like you want to do some damage. You're gonna chase Greedent again, aren't you? You're gonna chase Greedent again, aren't you? There's 17 seconds left. I just want to go back real quick. So there is, at this point here, you take out Absol. There is 28 seconds left in the game. You're not ripping this as a Mew. Garchomp probably can. Garchomp's got some good rip. But I would start looking for scores, because you take out the Absol here, that's going to be 3 down. I mean, 1's going to respawn. But you should start looking to pressure scores in a situation like this. I know that's riskier on Mew, I guess. Oh, not really. It's so mobile.
It isn't. There's a really good moveset that gives you a lot of mobility and escape options.
Is it Surf Agility? I feel like it's Surf Agility.
It's pretty cool.
Okay, so you go back here to peel onto the Greedent, but Delphox has them covered. Cross is looking to score top. You see Delphox.
Spread in a second score.
You see Delphox. Delphox is walking down to score 50 in the bottom. Greedent is here. Crossel's looking to score here. I guess you start pressuring bottom, right? You start to pressure bottom.
You try and score in the bot goal, or you defend.
Yeah, you start to pressure bottom, or you go towards the goal. This Greedent is covered. This Greedent's got a Delphox on them. They're covered. And their Delphox was walking towards this goal with 50 points, right? That's more important than the 16-point Greedent. I think you're in a close battle. Your Crossel's looking to score as well. So you're poking Greedent. This dash is interesting to me. I think you didn't see Delphox on the map, which is fair, but that's the thing. Focus on map awareness a little then, because Delphox kills Garchomp. They're showing on the map. They're walking towards the bottom goal to score 50, and you don't see them yet. You're starting to dash now towards the middle. This Rayquaza, that's full health with 16 seconds left. If you dash through here and Delphox commits to going the bottom here, I guess you can switch moves and maybe get there, but like, I don't know, that's risky. I feel like that's a risk I wouldn't take, because if your Crossel scores is 50, you win. But if Delphox scores is 50, it's again close battle, right? So then it's either way. So you need to kind of be watching your goal. And Delphox is really low too. I don't know why they walk up to fight you. I feel like that's a misplay by them. But because of that, you're able to do some damage. Your Delphox pulls down, and your Crossel scores. Here's the thing as well, by the way. If you look at the map, so Gren's just ripping Rayquaza for some strange reason. Eldegoss is okay. You have vision of people here, right? I know that this is really late to see this, but the Eldegoss there's no vision on Eldegoss. There's a Greedent and a Delphox here on the minimap. I know 15 seconds is really pushing it, but what I'm saying is try to look at the minimap more, because if you look to score this bottom it's very unlikely that the enemy team's able to stop Crossel and stop you at the same time. One of you is going to likely score, and that will just guarantee stop the Delphox score anyway, and you can hope your team's going to defend. But standing in the middle here and fighting, if Delphox doesn't choose this game gets a bit riskier. I don't know if you agree with that challenge. Like, I would look to score here for sure.
Yeah, either score or stop backups. There's not much point being in mid at 15 seconds left.
Yeah, definitely. And that could just be like you're not really watching timer, right? You could just be lost in what's going on. I don't know why Delphox comes up here and ult with like 15 seconds left when they have 50. And like now that your Delphox has time to respond. Because they probably had some like adequate time to score. But yeah, Crossel scores anyway, which ends up winning you the game, you know, because it was a close battle. Okay, that's not fair. I don't think the English announcer counts like that. I don't think it does that. Yeah, let's go back. The English announcer doesn't do this.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe we just zone it out.
Yeah, maybe we zone it out, but I don't think they do that. In the comments, let me know if that happens, because I don't think it does. In this game, I don't doubt that you probably did a fair bit of damage. Victoria, I like it. I don't doubt that you probably did a bit of damage, but there's definitely like, there's more you could have been doing utility-wise. You didn't use Surf one time in the entire game. You didn't use coaching. I think coaching is decent, but I could also, like, not using coaching in game isn't a big deal. A lot of people don't use coaching. But I challenge, there's been times you've hit me with coaching, and I've loved you a lot for it. I think coaching can be pretty solid.
It's very rare that you want to use coaching.
But it's like, oh man, you know those plays where it's like you coaching while using your booster and you go like across the map? It's like so nice. It's very rare, to be fair, that you want to use coaching. It's definitely very rare in like solo queue.
Coaching against someone, I will hold not using Surf.
Yes, but Surf is such a good move.
Have to use it.
It's very good, and I feel like you weren't utilizing Surf too much. But again, that wasn't a bad game. You were playing pretty well. I point out the mistakes a lot more because that's what I want to give you value from this coaching video. That's why I pulled Challenge in here. He's a professional Mew player, so it's helpful to have his input here because he knows more than me. Challenge knows a lot more than me, and if he's telling you to use Surf, then I believe that you should be using Surf a lot more. But thanks so much for joining me, Challenged. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me on again.
Of course, and if you guys want to see Challenge play some cracked Mew gameplay, plug your Twitch. What's your Twitch?
It should just be twitch.tv/challengedperson.
There you go, twitch.tv/challengedperson. I'll have it up on the screen for you guys. Definitely go check out Challenge. The dude is nuts at Mew. I think he was playing Dodrio on stream earlier. I don't know why. But yeah, he's definitely a nuts Mew. The clip you saw in Minishep's video of the Mew getting the 3 solar beams off in the Rayquaza fight, that was actually Challenge. So definitely go check that out. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. If you'd like to see some more coaching VODs, check out my most recent one over here.